Hi guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Condon UNSCRIPTED. We're back in the kitchen recording this week's episode of the podcast. This is episode number 16. 16?
I don't know.
17. Yes, episode 16. Unbelievable. Wow. It only dawned on me how quickly these series are going. I recalled 8 episodes per series, so we're nearly at the end of the second series, which is mental. But I've got Tracie here.
Hello.
I've got Tracie here with me. She's becoming more of a feature now in this podcast. Originally, you were kind of a guest stroke individual my significant other, who pops in and has a pop at me on my show and then leaves. So we based on some of the feedback that we've had on my videos and on other episodes that we've done, you've been really popular, more popular than me. So I thought I'd get you in more often. How do you feel about that?
Mixed feelings.
Why you got mixed feelings?
I do it because you really want me to, and I know it. If it's popular, it's popular. But I really don't like it. I really don't like it. So we're going to spend this episode talking through. So Tracie has got a list, like she did last time, of things that she wants to talk through. Obviously relevant to some of the stuff that I've been doing. But you have got some things on there that we're going to talk. So do you want to go through your list of things that we're going to cover in this episode? Well, I've got our mundane real world problems.
Okay.
That as a family that's happened to us since the last episode. Then we're going to talk about your Rockerplate, your new fabulous gizmo.
Yeah.
Your Ditchling Beacon challenge that we did together.
Yeah.
And if we've got time, maybe your upcoming Source to Sea challenge.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to cover through that. So this episode is going to be slightly shorter because we are really restricted on time. Now, unbeknownst to a lot of people, I kind of do YouTube and make podcasts and videos, mainly videos. I kind of do full time. I spend probably in excess of 60 or 70 hours a week working on videos. And if I'm not making videos, I'm editing them. And then if I'm not making or editing videos, then I'm out doing the challenges or doing the fitness stuff that kind of goes into the videos and the subject matter on the podcasts. However, we do have a business that we run, don't we, as a family? Me and you. You're the head of the business. I kind of just sweep up and make the tea, as Tracie likes to remind me. But we are restricted on time because of that. So we have certain sections of the week where we kind of hand over to doing certain things. And the podcast is now, but we're running out of time, so we need to crack on. What I will say before we crack into this is I have to give Tracie a pep talk, don't I, before the start of podcast episodes?
Yes.
What are the things on the pep talk? I'm going to tell her off now.
Look at the camera.
Yeah.
Talk into the mic. Don't bang the table.
Yeah. And what have you not done so far? Looked into the mic. And what two things?
Looked into the mic. Looked into the camera.
Oh, looked into the camera. Yeah, don't look into the mic. And what 2 things have you done?
Banged the table,
yeah,
and not talked into the mic,
yeah. So
and not looked at the camera very much. But it is like over there, and I'm talking to you, so it feels weird looking over there, but I'm talking to you.
It's a balance I'm trying to strike. I don't really know how to make a podcast that's as engaging. I want to make it as engaging as possible. And the problem is that when I film these, if I've got a guest who isn't with me in the room, which isn't anyone other than you, then I have to record them on a screen, which is easier then to look at the camera or look at the screen.
Because you're both just looking at the same camera, like your own camera.
But when we're doing like this,
sharing.
Yeah, we tend to be off camera. But the more I do these, the longer I spend trying to make them work and make them more engaging, the better I get at them. So, but yeah, if you can just not bang the table and talk into the mic.
I'll try really hard.
Yeah, okay.
Not to do that.
All right. So what's the first thing on your list?
Real world, mundane, boring stuff that's happened to us.
Okay, microphone.
That some people will probably be like, why on earth are they talking about that?
Let me move it forward for you.
All right, it's literally touching my face now.
Oh, that's good. All right, carry on. So start again. What's the first one?
The mundane stuff that's happened to us.
Okay.
In the real world, not YouTube or related.
No.
Just stuff that we've ticked off that we've done.
Okay.
So we've bought new flowers.
New flowers, which are just off screen here. Shall I bring them in a bit?
Go on then. Show everyone. This is our winter selection.
I won't leave them here. I'll just put them there. So we had our autumn Halloween-y
Yeah.
autumnal. They're still over there.
Yeah.
By the end of a full year where we've had 4 seasons, we're going to have 4 different vases around the kitchen. So we've got the autumnal over there. We've got winter here.
Yeah.
And then when we obviously move into spring.
No, there's going to be a Christmas one before spring.
Oh, so we're going to have 5?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. So
there might be more than 5.
Okay, so that's the vase ticked off.
Yeah.
The flower arrangement.
Yeah. So most importantly, though, our car passed its MOT.
Oh, yeah. Well, considering the amount of miles that car does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot. We bought a new kettle. Now, for some people, that is really mundane and boring, but I was quite excited about our new kettle.
Okay.
That's about as exciting as our real world life has got.
Is that the real world stuff?
Yeah.
What about Maddie falling off a horse?
Yeah, she fell off a horse.
So we had some drama this week where our eldest daughter, who is a keen horse rider, what they called? Equestrian.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the correct term is.
She rides horses.
Yeah.
And loves it. And she's getting pretty good. She's been doing it now for 2 years? Just under?
About 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah.
And she fell off. Had quite a bad fall.
Yeah.
And it scared everyone. The horse that she rides is a bit of a spicy one. So she's been upgraded, hasn't she? From a kind of a stable horse, just one that plods around the yard.
Yeah.
She's been upgraded to one that's a bit more of a buckaroo.
He's an dressage horse.
Yeah. So ex-dressage. So you can see it because when he moves, he kind of he's very bouncy.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of the cartoon horses in Mary Poppins because he prances and bounces and dances. He doesn't stand still. Anyway, he got excited because he was allowed to gallop and
canter.
Apparently they're different things.
Yeah, the speed's very different.
Okay. He got excited because he could move faster than walking pace.
Yeah.
And buckarooed her off.
Yeah, he
kicked, didn't he?
Yeah,
like
and we
jovially.
think that he kicked her leg and that's what caused the injury, not the fall.
Right, okay. All right, so yeah, she's been laid up on the sofa for the past week. She had quite a bad bruise. We did have a trip to A&E because at one point we did think there was a break, but there wasn't. It was just really badly bruised. Her leg was black and she couldn't use it, could she?
No, it was a good few days that she couldn't put any weight on it at all.
No, so that kind of shook us up a little bit. But drama over, she's all good now, back to college and fully recovered, and she's no longer walking like Charlie Chaplin. So what's next on your list?
So now that's all like the boring stuff.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about your Rockerplate.
Okay.
And the lovely man that come to install it for you.
Yeah, he...
first of all, you need to tell everybody that doesn't know what a Rockerplate is.
So I don't really know either myself.
Well, you do.
Yeah, it's basically a plate, as it's described, that rocks. And the way it works is it's designed specifically...
And you put your watt bike on the top of it.
Yeah. I mean, people that are watching this, people that watch my YouTube and watch my podcast will know. However, it's basically something for Zwift or something for indoor cycling. So you take your indoor trainer, so your Kicker Core or your watt bike or even your Zwift Ride, and you put it on top of a Rockerplate. And it's basically a big, massive sheet of wood, or 2 sheets of wood, that are suspended between some clever mechanisms, very well designed, by the way. I'm not describing it the way Martin, I'm sure, would like me to describe it. However, it gives you the motion of rocking side to side when you cycle, as it would do in real life when you're on a bike. And I had that installed 2 days ago. I've done 2 races on it and 1 social ride. So I did 1 55k social ride and 2 30k races. And if anyone knows Zwift, you will know races are pretty intense. So if you don't go for it, you're going to get dropped. And obviously my aim is not to get dropped. So I had to go for it on the Rockerplate. And my initial reactions to it is I'm properly excited by the opportunity that it's going to afford me in regards to learning new ways of cycling. And hopefully, fingers crossed, remove fatigue, remove bum soreness, or make it less anyway, because that's apparently what it's supposed to do. The natural motion is supposed to help with fatigue. And it's also supposed to help with being able to produce more power into your legs because you're
because when you cycle in the real world and you're giving it some, you kind of make the bike rock side to side, don't you?
Yeah.
To get more power out of it.
Yeah.
No, so it kind of simulates
so it makes
real
sense.
cycling.
Yeah, so it makes sense. A Rockerplate indoors makes a lot of sense when you actually think about it on paper. Because when you're outdoors in the real world, I mean, I'm hardly Bagacha, but when you're outdoors in the real world and you go from side to side, you generate more power because that's the motion that you do on a bike. So when you're on a static bike indoors, it's completely unnatural because you don't move. You produce the power straight down. You stamp. However, and this is a big however, I'm really struggling to get to grips with it because it's completely different. I've learned for 18 months to cycle on Zwift on a watt bike that's completely static, and have been on a Rockerplate is very...
It'll take some getting
very
used
unusual,
to.
yeah. I mean, it's like anything. If you learn how to do something, I mean, you teach gymnastics, don't you? Mm-hmm. And you say all the time, kids that come in new,
that have learnt things off of YouTube are the worst kinds to teach because they've learnt the wrong techniques, and you have to unteach what they've already learnt, and it's almost impossible. Yeah. It'd be easier to teach somebody that didn't know how to do it at all.
So you have to unteach them to get them back to zero.
Yeah.
To then teach them the right way.
Yeah.
Because they've learned how to do a forward roll on YouTube, or they've learned how to do a backflip or attempt a backflip on, because they've watched some parkour guys on YouTube. It's the same with the Rockerplate. Because I've been 18 months static, I now need to learn a completely new way of doing it. And
it's not like you can just whip the bike on and off to switch between static and wobbling.
No, it's too much effort to do. I mean, it's a 2-man job to lift the watt bike.
Yeah.
It's a tough gig. I mean,
So you got no choice now. You've just got to.
Yeah. I mean,
roll with it.
The other thing that roll with it. Oh my goodness. You're really happy with that, aren't you?
Oh, so would you be?
You have to roll with it. The other thing is when I'm on a bike in IRL outside and I go for it. So the other day, we're going to come on to this, I did Ditchland Beacon.
Yes, let's talk about that.
No, I'm going to come on to that in a sec. I just said I'm going to come on to that. But when I go for it and I start putting the power down, the bike goes side to side, occasionally, I get that butterfly in the stomach, like when you're on a roller coaster and you do a drop and you're like all out of control and you think that you're going to fall. You get that sudden motion and then you realise you're not going to fall and you're okay. For the first time, I've had that indoors on the Rockerplate. I never had that before. Outdoors, I've had it, cycling up and down, especially downhill. But I've had it on the Rockerplate a few times where I'm just going and then I've gone to go and I forgot that I'm on the Rockerplate. And the way I've described it, and I've said this in my video, actually, I made a video, I just did a race before I came onto this podcast. And in that video, I said, do you remember those toys, those in playgrounds in parks and, playgrounds? When you were younger, in like the 80s and 90s especially, you don't see them anymore. But they were like these animals that were on springs and you used to sit on them. Oh,
yeah. And you could go all back and forward. Yeah.
And me and my mates, we would do a thing where who could make the horse's nose hit the floor. Yeah. Right. And you literally, to make the horse's nose hit the floor, you would have to almost hit the floor.
And then you fall off of it because gravity takes over.
You'd have to try and stay on and come back up. It feels like that. That's what it feels like. Those. It feels like I'm going right over and I could hit my elbow on the floor. I mean, I'm not anywhere near that. The movement is probably, if you actually watch me...
It's not that far.
It's not that far, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the Rockerplate. And I will say, I'm not endorsed or sponsored in any way, shape or form by Omnirocker, but Omnirocker gave me the Rockerplate. He provided it to me completely free of charge because he watched my videos and he did say to me that he's tired. He felt sorry for me with my motion and he wanted to help me out because my sprint is really bad. That's what he said. So I really appreciate it. But he was a lovely guy. He came over 2 days ago, great customer service. He didn't just do it for me because I make YouTube videos and he wants to be in them. He does them for all his customers. He goes to their homes, sets them up for them, shows them how. He's a one-man band, makes them himself he describes this in his garage at the bottom of the garden. He showed me a picture of his garage. It's, I'd give my right arm to have a garage like that. But in his shed, actually, I think he said. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a studio. And he makes them all himself. He brought it over, set it up. Great customer service. Really nice guy. So if you're in the market for a rocker plate, I would recommend Omnirocker. I mean, other than the fact that I'm just still getting used to it, it's really well made. Like, it looks fantastic. It doesn't look out of place at all, and it really hasn't taken up any space.
No,
I don't feel like I'm tripping over it in any way, shape, or form. I'm slightly higher off the ground, but I haven't noticed any difference really. So other than just the rocking that I need to get used to, and specifically standing up, I need to get used to standing up, because I like standing up when I cycle. I like to power up climbs. I like to sprint standing up, and it's very unusual. I'm all over the place, and the bike's going in opposite direction, and I haven't got. It's all about.
Well, you're not known for your balance at the best of times, are you?
No, not really. But I have to get the timing right.
Yeah.
So where it's going that way, my leg needs to be pushing down the opposite direction, and I haven't quite got that yet.
And shifting your centre of gravity to match the rocking.
Yeah. So that's kind of my rundown of the rocker plate. Probably a little bit longer than you wanted.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm just enthusiastic about it.
Okay, so let's talk about your Ditchling Beacon challenge.
Okay.
And the disastrous start we had.
Disastrous.
So
oh yeah.
We got halfway there, didn't we? And what did you realise you'd forgotten? Remember, it was like 2 hours from our house, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Ditchling Beacon is near Brighton, for anyone that doesn't know, and that's a 2 hour odd journey with and without traffic, depends.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit longer if you're doing it in a weekday. So we did it at a weekend. No, it wasn't.
No, it was during the
weekday.
week. Yeah. So what was the first thing you forgot? And we was halfway there before you realised.
Oh, I don't know. What was it?
Your phone.
Oh, my phone. So yeah, I forgot my phone, and I had all my stats on it. So I had my Strava, because obviously I didn't want to worry about it when I got there. I had it all written down on my phone, so I didn't have any of my section times or my stats or. So yeah, I forgot my phone. And
then when we was about 3/4 of the way there, what was the second thing you realised you'd forgotten?
My SD card to record it. So we were all in a panic. And
no, you was in a panic.
Yeah, we was all in a royal way. I was in a panic because I wanted to record it for a YouTube video.
And we was almost there.
Yeah.
It was like 20 minutes away, wasn't we?
And I forgot the SD card. So we had to go to Curry's and buy a new SD card, which, wasn't...
It was only like 10 minutes out of the way, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the end, it wasn't a major ordeal because, we're near Brighton. There's going to be big shops, etc. It's just annoying because...
So it was a bit dramatic before we even got there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Avoidable. It was avoidable. And it's annoying because it's an avoidable mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, we resolved it, and then hugely, just to be honest, hugely successful run up Ditchling Beacon.
Yeah.
It's this week's video. So if you're watching this on Patreon, then you probably would have already have seen my Ditchling Beacon video. And this was the route. This was I say the route, it's only 1.5 kilometres long, but this was the hill that beat me during London to Brighton.
Yeah.
So in my book, I should have brought it with me, but in my book, I've got a book that my aim over the next however long, year, 2 years, whatever, I'm going to aim to work my way through the 100 climbs in the UK.
100?
100.
Oh, okay.
So, I've got enough to be getting on with in the southeast where I live. So that's the aim. And as I travel around the country, I'll do these things. But the Ditchling Beacon is described in the book as the only climb in the UK that's forced more cyclists off their bike than any other.
Oh.
And the reason for that, can you guess? Why it's the climb that's forced more cyclists off their bike than any other?
Because it's the steepest? No, it's not the steepest.
Not the steepest by any stretch of imagination.
It's the slowest?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
When I say you'll be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I don't know.
Got one more guess.
Slippery?
No, slippery.
Oh. Yeah, it had lots of leaves on it.
Yeah, but loads of roads have leaves.
Oh.
No, there's nothing special about it.
Was it windy?
There's something that Ditchling Beacon has that no other climb in the UK has.
Oh.
About it. This is a good one. Can you guess? If you've guessed already, let me know.
I don't know, and I did it with you. Well, I was there. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's on the London to Brighton. And the London to Brighton bike ride is the ride that
so it's just the fact that there's more bike riders that do it?
Correct.
Oh, I'm thinking of the actual topography of the hill.
That's why it's a good question.
Oh.
I thought that was a good trivia question. That's
an annoying trivia question.
More people will complete Ditchling Beacon that are are novice cyclists, or not particularly fit, that when they hit the beacon, they just can't climb it because they've. And also, by the time you hit the beacon, it's only about 7 miles from Brighton, from the end of the ride. So when you do London to Brighton, you finish in Brighton, obviously, and when you hit the beacon, you've already done 50 odd miles. So you then need to climb this climb, which when I hit it,
and you fell off just before it.
Yeah, I did. I fell off my bike right as I started the incline started to go up, and I hit the start line. I hit the segment start line and fell off. My gears froze, or my chain caught and seized, or whatever happened. I don't know. Something went wrong. I changed gears at the wrong time, and it caused it locked up, and I fell straight off, and it really knocked my confidence. So I had to get over that. Obviously, then I had to just not think about it and power into it. But I was knackered. I was exhausted, and just had to, when I got like 25-30% of the way up it, and had to get off, and then I couldn't get back on because it was really steep. I tried to get back on several times.
You just can't get any momentum.
I couldn't get the momentum to get my cleats in time. I just wasn't experienced enough on a bike. I mean, London to Brighton was one of my first ever bike rides.
I was going to say, wasn't it only the second time you'd ridden that bike?
Yeah, probably at the time. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was second or third time I'd ever ridden a bike.
Because you rode home from Clacton, didn't you? Or rode to Clacton?
I rode to Clacton, and then we did one together. So it was the third time on a bike since I was 18. And I attempted, and but it really annoyed me. It played on my mind, the fact that I couldn't cycle up Ditchling Beacon. And even though I'd practiced on Zwift, I thought my fitness levels would have been enough to carry me through. And it turned out that fitness wasn't the problem. It was competency on the bike. Where I'd fell off, if I hadn't have fallen off at the beginning, I don't think my confidence would have been knocked, or it wouldn't have been knocked, and I would have been okay going into it. And then I probably wouldn't have stopped when I got tired, because I would have motivated myself to keep going, whereas I just had nothing in me, and ended up walking a large portion of it. So we returned without an SD card or a phone, but that wasn't a problem. We bought an SD card, didn't need a phone, and smashed it out. Did it, didn't we?
Yeah.
So you filmed me,
which
was, I've made the video now. Excellent filming again. You're getting very good at filming.
I always think I'm going to forget, like, to take the cap off or press record, or, you know, something that will mess it up.
Yeah. But you didn't.
No.
You did really well. Your filming was excellent. And you caught me in the car going up and down. So we put the GoPro on the windscreen, and she went up and down the car, didn't you? Up and down the hill. And, it was really, really well done. I was surprised how busy that road is.
It was busy.
That was really busy. And I had lines of cars behind me, and there was 2 or 3 that got really close to me and revved their engines. Where am I going? I don't understand. Like, did they want me to dive off the side into the bush? I didn't know. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a great climb. It averages 9%. Did it average 9%?
I think so.
But I do know that there are 2 sections that are over 15%. That are longer than 100 meters, which that is you're not messing about.
Because it kind of goes up and then flat a little, doesn't it? And then
goes
up again.
So there's 2 sections over 15%, which is no messing. I mean, it's not by any stretch of imagination one of the hardest climbs in the UK. Looking at some of the hardest, reading my book that I'm going to work my way through. I mean, Hard Knot Pass in the Lake District has a section that's over 33%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
33%. I don't know if I'm physically able. I mean, that's like vertical. I mean, that's like cycling up a ladder. I don't understand how I'm going to do that. But I am going to attempt it one day. So, yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah. What's next on your list?
Your upcoming Source to Sea challenge that you want to do.
Sauce to sea. So
yes, sauce to sea.
So this
tomato
was
sauce.
Yeah, tomato sauce to sea. So this was a challenge that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Yeah,
you've been talking about it for ages.
Yeah, and I didn't know in what format. I was going to walk it originally.
You did try and do like a small part of it walking, didn't you? Like years ago.
Yeah, I didn't. No, it wasn't Source to Sea. I just wanted to run. So basically, Source to Sea is I complete the length of the Thames from its source, which is west of West London, and it ends in Southend, Essex. So obviously Essex is where it enters the sea, and west of West London is the source of it. So the aim is to start at the source, which is a trickle. There's a marker, there's a beacon.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a marker in a field in a small, tiny village.
Oh, that marks
in the middle of nowhere. Literally, there is no river. It is like a trickle, and then you just follow a route. And there is a route, an official route that you can follow. But eventually, you hit the Thames as we know it. It turns into a stream, then a river, then a full blown.
How far is it in miles?
I think it's about 170k. I don't know what that is in miles.
Oh, me neither.
170k. I'm all K now. Everything's K, so I've completely lost knowledge of miles. But yeah, it's a really good challenge. So I'm going to do it on a bike. I've decided I'm going to start at the source, and I'm just going to cycle the entire length. And I'm not going to do it in any racing capacity. I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to take my food. I'm going to take, change of clothes in case it rains, waterproof. I'm just going to have it in a small backpack and just have a really fun day cycling the entire length of the Thames. So it allows me to combine two challenges that I've always wanted to do. So the first one being cycling from source to sea. I've always wanted to do that. It's going to be some beautiful sections along the Thames, especially through London. I mean, there is a section along the A13, which are just bike lanes. But, I can just get my head down for those sections.
There must be footpaths along it that you can...
The A13, there's bike lanes.
No, not cycle lanes, like footpaths along the actual Thames.
There is, yeah. There is. Some of them you can't cycle along. Some of them I will have to go on the road. But there are cycle lanes that run parallel. I will try and stick to the Thames as much as physically possible. But I'm going to use a website called Komoot. It's an official cycling website, or it does hiking as well. But you can plan. And
would you do it north of the river or south of the river?
Probably south.
Oh.
No, north. It'd have to be north because I'd have to cross it to get to Essex.
Yeah, but you could go south till you get to Dartford or Tilbury. There's I
could go south.
Foot tunnel at Tilbury.
I'll follow the website. The website will give me the route that keeps me on bike lanes the most. So if there's more bike lanes north, then I'll stay north. If there's more bike lanes south, then I'll stay south. But I probably would cross it at Tower Bridge and then go through Wapping if I did go south. However, either way, the website that I'm going to use gives me the best routes that allows me to keep off of main roads and keep on bike lanes.
But keep us close to it.
And then the second challenge it will afford me, it allow me the opportunity to do something which I've always wanted to do, which is to cycle through London. I've always wanted to practice my cleats because cycling through London, I'm going to have to stop loads. There's going to be traffic lights, pedestrians, people getting in my way. When we did
it on those Boris bikes in the summer,
we stopped loads.
Yeah, you couldn't go more than 100 yards without having to stop.
I am probably going to try and do it on a weekend, so it isn't as busy. Maybe a Sunday, but I will do it. And my aim is to do it before Christmas, but I don't want to do it on a day that is really cold. I tried to say that without sounding like a wimp, but yeah, that's what it's going to boil down to. So that's the challenge, source to sea.
Or raining. You don't want to rain.
No, I'm not going to do it in the rain. No way. It's bad enough I run in the rain. I'm not cycling in the rain because then I'm adding in falling off.
You 100% would fall off in the rain.
100% would fall off in the rain. I'm not doing that. No. What's next on your list?
That's it. That's all I've got on my list.
That's everything?
Yeah.
So that's all of the breakdown of what we've been up to recently.
Yeah.
And then the other challenge, there's one other challenge that I've signed up to. I signed up to it this week, which is for Christmas.
Oh, your Rucky thing.
Yeah. So my Rucky thing. That's exactly how they described it on the website. So there's a website I go to which is AEE. It's run by ex-SAS military personnel. I think they're brilliant. They're so their style of wording in their emails and on their website is so military. I mean, they're direct and to the point. They don't mince their words. I love it. It's not for the faint-hearted, but
no, it's quite aggressive.
Yeah. But I just think they just say exactly what you need to know. And that's brilliant because there's so many challenges that you enter into and it is just waffle, pages and pages and pages of briefing packs. And these guys literally just send me an email and they say exactly what I need to hear, which is great. But anyway, I've signed up to a challenge, which is the 50-mile rucking challenge. It's not called rucking in this country. Rucking is an American term.
It sounds better though.
But it's a 50-mile tabbing challenge.
Yeah, tabbing sounds rubbish.
You can't say that, Tracy. There's going to be... Oh, my goodness. It doesn't sound... It's tabbing stands for Tactical
I know
Advanced
what it stands for.
Well, people might not know. Tabbing stands for Tactical Advanced to Battleground. And even though I'm not tactically advancing anywhere, certainly not to a battleground, I will be tabbing 50 miles from Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve, 50 miles, carrying a 45-pound Bergen.
So it's over 7 days.
Yeah, so I've got 7 days to cover 50 miles in my Bergen.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really good challenge. And then the other thing that I want to do as well, which I won't be doing...
You're not going to do it all in one go though, are you? You're going to break it down over a couple of days?
So Christmas Eve, we've got the park run. We always do our festive park run, don't we? Every year on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and then we do one on a Sunday as well. What day is Christmas Eve?
I'm not sure. So isn't Christmas...
I've no idea.
Isn't Christmas on a Monday?
21st. So we could probably do one on the 20... No, the 21st will still be at work.
Okay. Whatever. We will be doing a park run on Christmas Eve, won't we? Because they always do
Unless it's raining. I'm not doing it in the rain.
We'll do it in the rain. Unless... We always do a festive park run, always. Yeah. Christmas Eve. It's become a family tradition. This will be our third or fourth?
Third, I think.
Okay. I think it's our fourth. Haven't we done three? I'm sure we've done three. I definitely know...
No, because we've only done 2 Christmases in this house and we didn't do them in the old house.
Okay. So this will be our third one. So it is becoming a Christmas tradition. I'm trying to make it a Christmas tradition, but I'm going to do it wearing my Bergen.
And so far, on both of them, one of the girls has thrown up.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't do any cardio. None. So they struggle with a park run. But I'm going to use this as an opportunity to do 5k or 3 miles with my Bergen, and then I'm going to run home from there with my Bergen. So we'll go there with the Bergen, do the park run, and then I'll run home. So that's got 10 miles in it.
Yeah, easily.
And then the other challenge I want to do is the Rapha 500, which is a cycling challenge. So 500k cycling between Christmas Eve
you told me.
and New Year's Eve. However, I can't do that because I'm doing the Bergen challenge. I can't do both. That's mental. I could do both. But we're on family time over that period and you wouldn't see me. So I'll just be out rucking. I'll just be out tabbing. I've got to stop saying that. It's because I've been watching loads of Americans who do it. But I'll be out tabbing or I'll be on a bike. So you won't want that.
Yeah, we only have a few days off over Christmas.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is the Festive 500, but at the beginning of December. And I'm toying, this is an idea. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. I haven't committed 100%, but I'm toying with the idea of streaming it and doing it in one hit. So 500k, streaming it on YouTube. Let me know if there'll be any appetite from that. If you're watching this, let me know in the comments if you'd like to. Obviously, you're not going to come and watch me cycle for God knows how many hours non-stop. But if it
you reckon about 20 hours, don't you?
So if I do 40 kilometres, if I can average 40k an hour, then it will be 13 hours.
Yeah, but you're not going to average that at the end, are you?
100% no. But I have got a tactic, which is to follow a pace partner, so a robo-pacer. And if I can get into the draft with a robo-pacer on a fairly flat loop...
What's a robo-pacer?
On Zwift, where there's a robot cyclist that just cycles. And you can join them just to practice and burn some calories if you don't want to race. Oh. So if you've got no one else to cycle with, you can join them and just follow along. But if I can get on to one of them and stick in the draft, then I should be able to generate 40 kilometres an hour, only averaging between 180 and 200 watts. So that will allow me to conserve energy and be faster. That's only if I can get into the draft, though, if I can sustain that. And it also means if I need to have a break, I'm going to get dropped by that group and then have to get back on it. But anyway, there's some logistics I need to work out before I commit to doing this. But 500 kilometres on Zwift over Christmas in one hit at some point. So non-stop 500k. That's the challenge.
It's a big challenge.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Be a good one. So that's everything. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. So guys, look, I just want to say episode number 16, done and dusted. Unbelievable. So I've now got 2 episodes to go of this series. Episode 17 will obviously be coming next week. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I also just want to say a big thank you to those of you that support me on Patreon. Your support is hugely appreciated, and that's the reason why I am able to make episodes like this. I want to say thank you for Tracie for joining me.
You're welcome.
And will you come back?
Maybe.
We'll do another one. I have got something planned for next week, so
Have
please, yeah, I have. I've got something good planned for next week, so please make sure, don't sound too surprised, please make sure that you, I've said it already, like and subscribe so you get notified when I upload the video. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.